Let's see, we're going live. And here we are. What's up, Janara? Say, got you as the first one in here. As I see where you say I'm here. Well, so here we are, all of us and everything. About to. Yep. What's up? So, yep, we're here. We here for a very interesting Bible reading of the Book of Ruth. There's actually only 4 chapters to it, and and also on top of that, it is a biblical love story of her and a guy named Boaz there. So, and one of the things that really makes this special, we're about to find out towards the end of the Book of Ruth. So yeah, we're gonna dive on in and see how this story goes and what it's about to play out into that will be really special in the long run. Hmm. So they say. Oh, okay, y'all going to Universal Studios. Okay, cool. That's yeah. That's a pretty. And to say that sounds like that's gonna be a lot of fun there. Yep. All right, so we got Ruth. So start with the first chapter. Naomi widowed. Yeah, and yeah, that's and ironic. In my thumbnail, the image that you put in there for Ruth and Boaz was the sort of like an altered version of Hiko and Naomi, and ironic that Naomi here is actually the mother-in-law to Ruth. So in listed here. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, yes, I guess for that since because of that Mario Galaxy movie. Yeah. Yep, I probably won't be like I say I think that and it's probably I say maybe some other movies too, but I know that movie and the Michael movie are two that more than likely I'm probably gonna be seeing when they come out on DVD and Blu-ray. So yeah. Me and Christina will be looking forward to those there. In those in the days when the judges ruled there was a fam in the days when the judges ruled there was a famine in the land, and a man of Bethlehem in Judea went to sojourn over the country of Moab, and he and his wife and his 2 sons. The name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife was Naomi, and and the names of his 2 sons were were Mahlon and Chilon. Okay. They were Ephraimites from Bethlehem in Judea. They went to the country of Moab and remained there. But Elimelech, the husband of Naomi, died, and she was left with her 2 sons. These took these sons took Moabite wives. The name of one was, let's see, try to make sure I pronounce this right. It's Orpah. So I think I actually did look this up, bro. I did. Let's see, double check there. See, pronounce, yeah. Okay.
Orpah.
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 Okay. So Orpah. Okay. So one was Orpah, and I bet and tell you what, because of spelling, if you switch some of the letters around, uh, first thing came to my mind. First, I think reading this, thinking of another spelling was Ophrah. Yeah, so it's almost close to Ophrah, but it's Orpah. Yeah, one was Orpah, and the name of the other was Ruth. They lived there about 10 years, and both Mahlon and Chilon died, so that the woman was left without her sons and her husband. Ouch. And then Ruth's loyalty to Naomi. Then she arose with her daughters and with her daughters-in-law to return to the country of Moab, for she had heard in the fields that of Moab that the Lord had visited his people and given them food. So she set out from that place where she was with her two daughter-in-laws, and they went on their way to return to Judea. But Naomi said to her daughter-in-laws, "Go, return each of you to her mother's house." In other words, since yeah, I mean, my sons ain't here. I know my sons are the ones y'all married, but they done passed away just like my husband. So we got to go our own ways now. So she said to them, "Go, return to your mother's house. May the Lord deal kindly with you as you have dealt with me, the dead, and with me. The Lord, the Lord grant you that you may find rest, each of you in your own household, that each of you in the house of her husband." She kissed them, and they lifted up their voices and wept. And they said to her, "No, we will return with you to your people." But Naomi said, "Turn back, my daughters. Why will you go with me? Have I yet sons in my womb that they may become husbands? May become your husbands? Turn back, my daughters. Go your way. I am too old to have a husband. If I should, if I should say I have hope, even if I should have a husband this night and should bear sons, would you therefore wait until they were grown?" Yeah, you'd be waiting a long time. Now I know times were a little different back then, but yeah, going by our standards, like anywhere between 18 and 21 years. So would you would you therefore refrain from marrying? No, my daughters, for it is exceedingly bitter for me for your sake that the hand of the Lord has gone out against me. Then they lifted their voices and wept again. Then Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clung to her. Mm. And she said, "See, your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and to her gods. They return after your sister-in-law." But Ruth said, "Do not urge me to leave you or return from following you. I will go, where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I'll be buried. May the Lord do so to me and more if anything but death parts me from you." And when Naomi saw that she was determined to go with her, she said no more. So now Naomi and Ruth returned. So the two of them went on until they came to Bethlehem. Y'all know what happened in Bethlehem in the New Testament. That's where Jesus was born. There, so yeah, I got a little about. There's gonna be some foreshadowing here. So they went. The two of them went until they came to Bethlehem, and they went and they came to Beth. And when they came to Bethlehem, the whole town was stirred because of them. And the women said, "Is this Naomi?" She said to them, "Do not call me Naomi, call me Mara, Mara, for the Almighty has dealt bitterly with me. I went away full, and the Lord has brought me back empty. Why call me Naomi when the Lord has testified against me? The Almighty has brought calamity upon me." And so Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabite, her daughter-in-law with her, who returned to the country of Moab, and they came to Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley harvest. And now chapter 2. Here's where old boy Boaz about to enter and meet Ruth. Hey. Now Naomi had a relative of her husband's, a worthy man of the clan of Elimelech, whose name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moab said to Naomi, let me go into the field and glean among the ears of grain after them, in whose sight I shall find favor. And she said, go, my daughter. So she set out and went and gleaned in the field after the reapers. And she happened to come across the part of the field belonging to Boaz, who was of the clan of Elimelech. And behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem, and he said to the reapers, the Lord be with you. And they answered, the Lord bless you. Boaz said to his young man who was in charge of the reapers, whose young woman is this? And the servant who was in charge of the reapers answered, she is a young Moabite woman who came back with Naomi from the country of Moab. She said, please let me glean and gather among the sheaves and among after the reapers. She also she came she came, and she has continued from the early morning until now, except for a short rest. So Boaz said to Ruth, now listen, my daughter. Do not go glean in another field or leave this one, but keep close to my young women. Let your eyes be on the field that they are reaping and go after them. Have I not charged the young man not have I not charged the young men not to touch you? And when you are thirsty, go to the vessels and drink what the young men have drawn. Hmm. Then she fell on her face, bowing to the ground, and said to him, why have I found favor in your eyes that you should take notice of me, since I am a foreigner? But Boaz answered her, all that you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband has been fully told to me, and how you left your father and mother in your native land and came to a people that you did not know. The Lord repay you for what you have done, and you will and a full reward given to you by the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge. Then she said, I have found favor in your eyes, my Lord, for you have comforted me and spoke kindly to your servant, though I am not one of your servants. Power of love. And at mealtime, Boaz said to her, come here, eat some bread and dip your morsel in the wine. So she sat beside the reapers, and he passed to her roasted grain, and she ate until she was satisfied, and she had some left over. When she rose to glean, Boaz instructed his young men, saying, let her glean even among the sheaves, do not reproach her, and also pull out some of the bundles for her and leave it for her to glean, and do not rebuke her. Like Boaz, so Boaz kind of got a little, got a little eye for Ruth there. Hmm. So she gleaned in the field until evening, and then she beat out what she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah of barley, and she took it upon she so she took it up and went into the city. Her mother-in-law had saw what she gleaned, and she brought it out and gave what food she had left over. After being satisfied, her mother-in-law said to her, where did you glean today, and where have you worked? Blessed be the man who took notice of you. She told her mother-in-law with whom she had worked, and said, the man's name of whom I worked today is Boaz. And Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, may he be blessed by the Lord, whose kindness has not forsaken the living or the dead. Naomi also said to her, that man is a close relative of ours, one of our redeemers. And we got here. Yep, that is true. Yeah, and I tell you what, reading this from like book chapter to chapter, yeah, there's a lot. There is a lot to be learned there. 'Cause like I said, this is actually the first time that I've actually I've read quite a few things in the Bible, growing up and everything, but this is the first time that I've actually okay, I'm just gonna go from the beginning and just go in order to the end, just like you do any like you do with a regular book, except this is a bit bigger than a regular book, but yeah, it's definitely, yeah, you're definitely right, Janari. It uh definitely learned a lot. Yep. Yep. It's sort of like and then sometimes even like things you may have already read about in the Bible, like a person like, well, I read about the birth of Jesus, but say they read it again, they might catch something that they didn't catch the first time they read it. So yeah, it's a yep, you are definitely right, Janara. Mm-hmm. See, oh yeah, right there. Okay, right here. So, and Ruth the Moabite said, besides, he said to me, you shall keep close by the young men until they have finished all my harvest. See? Oh, good. Hey, they appreciate that, Billy. Yeah. Okay. And Naomi said to Ruth, her daughter-in-law, it is good, my daughter, that you go out with his young women, lest in another field you be assaulted. So she kept close to the young women of Boaz, gleaming unto the end of the barley and the wheat harvest, and she lived with her mother-in-law. Now, chapter 3. We're already halfway through the book. Ruth and Boaz at the threshing floor. Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said to her, my daughter should not seek rest for you, that it may be well with you. Is not Boaz our relative, with whose young women you were? See, he is winnowing barley tonight on the threshing floor. Wash therefore and anoint yourself. Put on your cloak and go down to the threshing floor, but do not make yourself known to the man until he finish eating and drinking. But when he lies down, observe the place where he lies, then go and uncover his feet and lie down. Then he will tell you what to do. And she replied, I will, all that you say, I will do. Ruth is a very loyal type there. Kind of make me think of Christina there. So she went down to the threshing floor and did just as her mother-in-law had commanded. And when Boaz had eaten and drunk, and his heart was merry, he went to lie down at the end of the heap of grain. Then she came softly and uncovered his feet and lay down. And it's getting interesting here. At midnight, the man was startled and turned over, and behold, the woman lay at his feet. He said, wait, who are you? And she answered, I am Ruth, your servant. Spread your wings over your servant, for you are a redeemer. And he said, may you be blessed by the Lord, my daughter. Say, you have made this last kindness greater than the first. You have not gone after young men, whether poor or rich. And now, my daughter, do not fear. I will do for you all that you ask. For all my fellow townsmen know that you are a worthy woman. And now it is true that I am a redeemer, and yet there is a redeemer nearer than I. Remain tonight, and in the morning, if he is a remain tonight, in the morning, if he will redeem you, good, let him do it. But if he is not willing to redeem you, as the Lord lives, I will redeem you and lie until the morning. So she lay at his feet until the morning, but arose before one could recognize another. And he said, let let it not be known that the woman came to the threshing floor, and he said, bring the garment that you are wearing and hold it out. She held it and measured it, about 6 measures of barley, and put it on her. Then she went into the city, and when she came to her mother-in-law, she said, how did you fare, my daughter? And she told her all that the man had done for her, saying, these 6 measures of barley he gave to me. And he said to me, you must not go back empty handed to your mother in law. She replied, wait, my daughter, until you learn how the matter turns out. For the man will not rest until we settle this matter today. So that's it. And then the final chapter 4. Looks like Boaz redeems Ruth. Now Boaz had gone up to the gate and sat down there, and behold, the redeemer of whom Boaz had spoken came by. So Boaz said, turn aside, friend, sit down here. And he turned aside and sat down, and he took 10 men of the elders of the city and said, sit down. So they sat down, and he said to the redeemer, Naomi, who has come back from the city of Moab, is selling the parcel of the land that belonged to our relative Elimelech. So I thought I would tell you of it and say, in the presence of those sitting and the presence of the elders of the people, if you will redeem it, redeem it. If you will not, tell me, that I may know that there is no one besides you to redeem it, and I will come after you. And he said, I will redeem it. Then Boaz said, the day you buy the field from the hand of Naomi, you will also require Ruth, the Moabite, the widow of the dead, in order to perpetrate the name of the dead in his inheritance. Then the Redeemer said, I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I impair my own inheritance. Take my right of redemption yourself, for I cannot redeem it. Now, this was the custom in the former times, okay, of Israel concerning redeeming and exchanging to confirm a transaction. The one drew off his sandal and gave it to the other, and this was the manner of attesting in Israel. So when the Redeemer said to Boaz, buy it for yourself, he drew off his sandal, and then Boaz said to the elders of all the people, you are witness this day that I have bought from the hand of Naomi all that belonged to Elimelech, all that belonged to Chilon and Mahlon, also Ruth the Moabite, the widow of Mahlon, I have brought to be my wife, and perpetrate the name of the dead and his inheritance, and the name of the dead may not be cut off from among his brothers, and from the gate of his native place. You are witness to this day. Then all the people who were at the gate and the elders say, we are witnesses. May the Lord make this woman who is coming into your house like Rachel and Leah. Oh boy, I mentioned about, you be out. And to say, just as a reminder, Rachel and Leah were the two wives of Jacob, the father of Joseph the dreamer. As I remember Jacob way back in Genesis. Jacob actually was like, okay, Uncle Laban, I want to marry Rachel. Sure, work 7 years and you can get her. And then 7 years came and he got tricked with marrying Leah. Then he got Rachel, and that's how he ended up with the two wives there, because Uncle Laban had pulled a fast one on him. But yeah, that's where. So that's referred to Rachel and Leah, who together built up the house of Israel. May you act worthily in. Yes, pretty much. Yes. I can say, things kind of started off. That was how it went down back there. Yeah, and it say back in that book there. Those who built up the house of Israel, may you act worthily in Ephraim, and be renowned in Bethlehem. May your house be like the house of Perez, whom Tamar bore to Judea, because of the offspring that the Lord will give you by this young woman. And Ruth and Boaz marry. So Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife, and he went in to her. They went, yeah. I remember, because I remember Steve Harvey even talked about polygamy actually still goes on. I don't know where, but there are places it still goes on today. Because Steve Harvey has talked about it in his comic gag, hearing about it in the news. Yeah. Tied to one, and and believe me, I'm as me and Christina, that's all I'm sticking with. I ain't getting into that. That's too. And Steve Harvey say, why would you want 8 more of them? so, so, both. And the Lord gave her conception. She bore a son. Then the women said to Naomi, Blessed be the Lord, who has not left you without the Redeemer. May his name be renowned in Israel. He shall be to you the restorer of life, nourisher of your old age, for your daughter-in-law who loves you, who is more than 7 sons, has given birth. More to you than 7 sons has given birth to him. Then Naomi took the child and laid him on her lap and became his nurse. The women in the neighborhood gave him the name, saying, a son has been born to Naomi, and they named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. And we know who David is. The one who, the little boy, the lad who took that stone and swung it into Goliath's head, and then became a king. Yep. So yeah, this is the foreshadowing of David. Yeah. The genealogy of David. Now these are the generations of. Yep. So is there. And I tell you, Samuel from my Yumiko series and Star Striker, he is a big fan of David. Now these are the generations of Perez. Perez fathered Hezron. Hezron fathered Ram. Ram fathered Abimadab. Abimadab fathered Nashon. Nashon fathered Salmon. Salmon fathered Boaz. Boaz fathered Obed. Obed fathered Jesse, and Jesse fathered David. Yep, so, and that is the entire book of Ruth. So, like I say, so the next Bible reading for next Sunday will be starting with 1 Samuel, which will lead us to our boy David there. Yeah, there's going to be a few things that will happen before David comes along, but yeah, we it's sort of, it's pretty much like that, almost like, in the MCU when they show you those post-credit scenes. This is sort of like the mentioning of David is like the post-credit scene at the end of this book of Ruth. Yeah, just imagine, like, if this was a movie about Ruth, and like, then you see the credits and stuff like that, then suddenly you see post-credit scene, Goliath show up. Israel, who will face me one-on-one? You, ha 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 ha, maybe you, ha ha ha, and then I will. You, and then just that image, and you just see, like, maybe like the like David, you don't see his head or anything, just see him walk up to Goliath, and then dun dun. Next thing, you got to tune in next time to see it there. So, yep. So appreciate that, Janara there. So, So that's the end. So that's the end for this Bible reading for tonight. There. Yep. We'll be back. Possibly next Sunday. It just all depends on what goes on. Like I say, we'll have to play it by ear. But like I say, see what all see what all goes on. But if there's a all goes well and the good Lord say the same, our next Bible reading will be the book of First Samuel. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, because I know they've had kind of some battles too there. Yep. So all right, for everybody else that's watching and everything, y'all definitely like, share, and subscribe. You know, and to say definitely get our available books and support us on the Patreon, just like the Iceman Universe does, and also definitely support the Miracle Crew. Yours truly, King Gabe, Queen Tina, Big Sis Casey, Janara Nellens, Chris Godfrey, also known as Jen, and EJ the Supreme. And definitely, just like you hang out with us here in the live streams, also hang out with us on Discord and on Facebook. And we can sell each other some stuff in that McCary app there, like a little something I recently just put up on McCary. For all that said, we'll definitely see y'all in the next video or live stream. Y'all take care, everybody. Peace out. And I can't wait to hear about my boy David coming up there soon.